Chris the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so I've seen on Boxing Scene, well, all over the net, but I just seen it on Boxing Scene. Eddie Hearn says that Joshua's next three opponents will be Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Now, reading that on paper, great. For me as a boxing fan, great, awesome. But just trying to look at it realistically, though. Now, the Klitschko fight, I can see that one going down because there was a rematch clause in the contract, so I can understand that one. But then where does this leave Pulev and Luis Ortiz? And Eddie Hearn, man, it's like every other day he's saying something else as far as opponents and all that, because just last week I did a video where he was talking about either they're fighting Klitschko or Pulev next. And then now they're saying it's going to be Klitschko, then Wilder, and then Tyson Fury. All right, we know Tyson Fury, he's back in the gym. To his credit, he is getting in shape. Because the pictures I seen before from like a few months ago, he looked like he hasn't been nowhere by a gym. You know what I mean? Not even within a mile. You know what I mean? That's just what it looked like. But to his credit right now, though, he's getting in good shape. And maybe he did visit the gym when he was out of shape. I'm just saying that just from just looking at him physically. Doesn't look like he was doing any training. But anyways, he is back training now. So then he has that UKAD thing that just got delayed again. So to me, now Klitschko and AJ just did 90,000 in Wembley. Okay, they did great numbers. Everybody made a lot of money. But I think domestically, I believe, from an outsider looking in, I think that Fury versus Joshua is the biggest fight that can be made in the UK. Just both guys have been going back and forth. It's an opportunity, where the UK can put arguably the two best heavyweights in the ring together, both from, got their fan base there in that country. So it'll just be a big fight domestically, coupled with the fact that it's arguably the two best heavyweights in the ring, between AJ versus Fury. Now with the Deontay Wilder fight, I think to me, if you're asking me, I think that is the most explosive fight. And I also think it will be the fight to determine who is the man at the division. I'm not leaving out Joseph Parker or Luis Ortiz or those type of guys, but I believe that Joshua and Wilder are the two best. All right, so then, we got the rivalry with the USA and the UK. It'll make for a big fight. But I don't think it'd be, as far as numbers and just how the UK fans will be into it, it will be huge in the UK, man. I'm talking like some Ben versus Eubanks type shit. Like it'd be huge there. You know what I mean? So, but if Eddie Hearn is right, although I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow he came out with another article saying it's going to be Klitschko or Pulev, so again, even with all the names all brought up, everybody has been in a title fight or owns a title, right? Joseph Parker, he's a title holder. I just talked about him. You got obviously AJ and Klitschko involved. We're talking about Fury. We're talking about Wilder. Pulev has even got a title shot. He came up short against Klitschko, right? Still no title shot for Luis Ortiz. Again, can Luis Ortiz beat these dudes up? I don't know. That's what I want to see. I'm just tired of talking about it and giving these, these hypothetical matchups and what would happen and what wouldn't happen. The dude's been, I did a video the other day about this. Luis Ortiz has been rated he's either been rated number 1 or number 2. If you want to just minus that little 9-month stretch he had when he was serving his suspension for the drug test. From September 2012 till right now, he's been number 1 or number 2 in the WBA's rankings. Again, I know that we had guys like Povetkin and we had guys like Ruslan Chagayev that held on to the regular title. So besides not holding that title, he's held an interim title. He's been rated number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2 for 5 years in the sanctioned body of the WBA. So it kind of leaves Ortiz out in the cold again. All right. But as far as what Eddie Hearn is saying, if those were Joshua's next 3 fights, I'm not going to be upset about it. Don't get me wrong here, man. Although I'm vouching for Ortiz and I want to see him get his shot. If you're telling me as a consumer, as a fan, that I'm going to get to see Joshua versus Klitschko rematch, Wilder and Fury, I'm cool with that. But what I will say is, I just wish that the rematch wasn't a quick rematch. Well, I guess you can go either way because with a situation like this, yes, it was a great fight. But you guys know that I'm a big fan of fresh fights, especially fresh fights against fighters who are also undefeated and a lot of guys top 5 or top 10. And I definitely think Wilder and Ortiz are on that level, in my opinion. So with this fight with Vladimir, I think it'd be a good rematch. It was a good, exciting fight the first time, so I can understand that. But just me, I'm just a big believer in just fresh fights, especially immediate rematches like that. I like fresh fights, man. I'm just a fan of fresh fights, not recycled fights. Even if the first fight was a great fight, and we've had some of the best fights in histories be trilogies. Guys fight 4 times, so I'm not knocking rematches. I'm just saying I'm also just a big fan of fresh fights, especially when there's other title holders out there and there's other undefeated fighters that are in that top 5, top 6. I want to see some of those guys get knocked off or get their opportunity. And then I'm not saying the rematch should take place a year from now or 2 years from now, but just I wish it wasn't an immediate rematch just because I want to see Joshua in with some fresh faces. But it seems as if, we haven't heard from Klitschko yet. He says he's going to come to his decision sometime in June. He's going to give us his answer if he wants to fight again. I've said that I like that he's taking time to think about it because I didn't want an emotional decision. I don't want him to, right after the fight, I want my rematch. And then a week later, he's chilling with the family and he's chilling with his wife and he's reflecting on his career. And he says, you know what? I don't even need this no more. I did my thing. I've stamped my name in history. It will never be forgotten. Or I didn't want him to say, nah, I don't want to fight. I don't want it. And then a month later, I want to fight. Just chill out. Emotions going to be running high, whether positive or negative. Just chill on it. Go spend. He's doing what I think he should be doing. I know some fans like, man, hurry up with this fucking answer. You're holding up the division. And I understand that too. But it's just literally a few weeks away here, man. So it's not like he's going to have us on hold for 6 months or 5 months. It's literally a few weeks. You know what I mean? And but I like what I see from Joshua because Joshua's not chilling. He's not I'm sure he's got his proper rest, but he was back in the gym training. I seen him put up training clips of him back in the gym lifting weights and or was he lifting while he was doing something? I think he was doing some type of workout, but he was back in the gym. I think it was light weights, but he was just back in the gym, man, training. So it was good to see that he's staying hungry, that he's not just saying, all right, fuck it. And you know what I mean? I've accomplished, I've climbed the mountaintop. Now I'm done. He's not taking that approach. He's not taking the Tyson Fury approach because it looked like Fury just didn't give a damn after he beat Vladimir. That's just me. It looked like he really didn't give a damn. Like he climbed the mountaintop, did what a lot of people thought he couldn't do. Although he did have some people that thought he could win the fight, but he just chilled. And it doesn't look like Joshua's anywhere near trying to chill. And he knows that he has more work to do. And it's not just about beating Klitschko. There's a lot more work to do. And it seems like a lot of like his hardcore fan base, they come off as like, hey, you beat Klitschko. Everybody else needs to, get on their knees and beg you for a fight. And they're not worthy. And, he should just do whatever he wants now. And no, man, that's not how this goes. Yes, you've put your name in a spot to where you have this, how can I say, you have like this cachet now to where you can, where you'll be the A side and all this other shit. Yes, you put yourself in that position, but at the same time, there's a lot more out there to prove in the ring. Not just what your bank account looks like, but just in the ring. There still is a Deontay Wilder out there. There still is these other fighters, Luis Ortiz, Joseph Parker. Whether your fan base thinks you'll blow them out in 2 rounds, that's fine. You still have to do it. We just can't say, oh, I think he would do, since he beat Klitschko, I think he'll just blow Parker out and beat Wilder. No. Yeah, we can think what we want, but he has to go in there and do it. Get it done. You know what I mean? So just my opinion on all this. I'm intrigued with all these matchups, but if it were up to me, I wouldn't necessarily want to see the rematch first. I would rather the fight I want to see is Wilder, but I would rather him fulfill the mandatory so he can keep these titles, so we can have the titles around. And no, I do not think Joshua is bigger than the titles because I want to see an undisputed champion. You can be the money man all you want, but to me, on your road to being undisputed, you will fight the top guys. Once you start becoming the money maker and the money man, and you're bigger than the sport and bigger than the belts, kind of damn near what Mayweather has done. But when you get to that point, you can just pick and choose, and you're going to upset a lot of your fan base and just a lot of fans in general if you're just picking and choosing just random fights. You know what I mean? It'd be like, just picking and choosing random fights. I don't want to shit on no other fighter, but just picking a random fight when we know damn well you should be fighting the Ortiz and Parkers and Wilders. I know Ortiz doesn't have a belt, but you guys know what I'm saying. Once you're fulfilling your mandatories and trying to become undisputed, there's nothing but other good fights out there. And I'm not saying that Josh was going to drop a belt or drop his titles. I'm just saying that some fans, I'm reading in my comment sections, that they almost come to the belief that he doesn't even need titles no more. And maybe he doesn't on the money end, but if you're trying to really leave your legacy, you just want to, I think he needs just to continue the path that he's been taking. He wanted to win a title. Check. Yes, and Charles Martin was trying to cash out, because for some of you that don't remember or don't even know, Martin's team offered that same fight to Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker and Duco Events, they couldn't come up with a big enough bag. They couldn't put a big enough price tag. So Martin went to where the biggest price tag was at, and that was in the UK against Joshua. Okay, so Joshua still beat him. He won a title. His next goal was to fight Vladimir. I remember when the fight was first being whispered back in that December, when all the everything was going on. When Vladimir, they figured that Fury fight was going to fall through. They moved on, and they were talking about AJ, and AJ just needed to get past Molina, because I remember they were trying to get Klitschko to fight AJ in December, and Klitschko said, "Nah, you get past Molina, we'll fight." People thought, "Oh, they're not going to do that. They're not going," and then they got in the ring and fought. So he wanted to get the big Hall of Famer name on his resume. Bam, he got that. He became a unified champion. Let's keep connecting the dots on these goals, and let's keep trying to, I always hear AJ talk about history and being remembered in history, and I've heard him talk about guys like Ali and Tyson and Foreman and all this. So let's just keep it up, man. Let's just keep it up. And I've actually heard him talk about Vladimir, and Vladimir was a guy that wanted to fight for the titles. I know, he didn't fight his brother. That's, like I said, that's the only asterisk I'll hold next to their reign. It's just, they were the two best, so it's kind of like 1A, 1B. But at the same time, besides that, though, Vladimir was trying to fight all the other title holders, which he did. He didn't get a chance to fight Wilder. That 2015 year just kind of happened quick. Wilder beats Stavern the first part of the year, then the end of the year, Klitschko ended up losing to Fury. But before that, he beat an undefeated fighter in Jennings, so. But anyways, man, I'm rambling now. But if those are his next 3 fights, great. But me personally, I don't want to see the rematch right away. I know it was a great fight. I'm just a fan of fresh fights, man. I just want to see him fight some of these other guys. But I'm cool with the rematch. I'm not going to sit and act like I'm not going to watch the fight. I'm definitely going to watch the fight. But I just don't think it ends with just Klitschko. He's about to be out the sport in a few years here. The dude, we can't just be dependent on this for 40 somethings to just carry the sport. It's changing over into a new era. So I want to start seeing some of these new era type of fights. Just my opinion. Leave yours in the comment section. I'm out.